into the street. Now did you read the news today? They say the danger's gone away, but I can hear the fire still light. It's burning into the night. There's too many men, too many people making too many problems. There's not much left to go around. Can't you see this is a lot of confusion? Now this is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. Yes, then let's start trying to make it a place worth living in. Oh yeah. Well, Superman, where are you now? When everything's gone wrong somehow, men of steel, men of power are losing control by the hour. This is the time, this is the place, so we look for the future. There's not much left to go around. Tell me why this is a lot of confusion. Now this is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. You step and let's start trying to make it a place worth living in. Oh yeah. When the sun was shining, yes, and the stars were bright, all through the night, the sound of your laughter as I held you tight, so long ago. I won't be coming home tonight. My generation will put it right. We're not just making promises that we know we'll never keep up. Too many men, too many people making too many problems. Not much love to go around. Can't you see this is a lot of confusion? Yeah, now this is the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. You step and let's start trying to make it a place worth fighting for. This is the world we live in, and these are the names we're given. Stand up and let's start showing. Here's where our lives are going to.
Hello. Now you have sound. Hello. Okay. Welcome, everybody. So I have gone on a little search for smart fabric. So I'm going to bring some stuff to the table and what I have found, what was there, what I had found in the past, what I'm finding now, decades in the making. Ulick, you're in first place and the only one who's brave enough to cross the finish line. So there you go. I titled this an epoch-making technology because that's what one of these articles says from the National Library of Medicine. Describe this as an epoch-making moment. And I find that fascinating. Let's see. Of course, I have to wait for things to rainbow wheels of death and things. Okay, so let's go to our first. All right, so our first tab, inspired by Look Out for Charlie, who is talking about frequencies and things. So it's called Human Body Communication Systems, Smart Fabrics. Here are the MIT. These are newer. So we looked at some of these the other day. This is from 2021. So you can see that I have some. They're purple. That means that I've pulled them up. All right, so we're going to look at some new ones, and then I'm going to take you to some old ones. So let's start with the first tab. This is very long, and I'll also put the links in the chat. This one, again, National Library of Medicine. Electronic textiles for energy, sensing, and communication. And just look at the last names of those involved there. So what is it? So what are electronic textiles, or e-textiles? Are fabrics that can perform electronic functions such as sensing, computing, display, and communication. What does that mean? They can enhance the functionality of clothing in a variety of convenient and unobtrusive ways, thus have garnered significant research and commercial interest in applications ranging from fashion to healthcare. Recent advances in materials science and electronics have given rise to a variety of e-textiles components, including sensors, energy harvesters, batteries, and antennas on flexible and breathable textile substrates. In this review, we discuss recent advances in the development of e-textiles for energy, sensing, and communication. In addition, we investigate challenges in the integration of components to realize e-textile systems and highlight opportunities enabled by innovations in materials science, engineering, and data science. Who's in charge of material science, engineering, and data science? Who owns that? Who's the head of that department? Right. Big business. Here they give you just a little body. We've all seen this. But I think when you read it, you start like really thinking, what else can it do? It has gained significant attention in both the industry and academia. Why is academia so interested? Including the Internet of Things. They're interested. Artificial intelligence is interested. Body motion tracking is interested. The gaming section is interested. Pressure mapping, rehabilitation, healthcare, smart wearables, and smart garments. They're all interested. They've been getting a lot of attention from researchers, and most of the review articles on e-textiles are from the point of view of materials or methods of fabrication. One of them being 3D, which was the first tab that I had open there. Here, the blue arrows. Okay, so it talks about there you can see. So this is just kind of like that tank top. You're a battery. But what is that battery? It says energy harvesting. Well, that goes along with energy harvesting. In other words, when you're walking, you're creating energy. These clothes collect that energy and send it somewhere. That's what they can do. Anyway, this article is very long, but we'll just skim through. So we've got sensors for e-textile systems, capture important information about the physiological state and the environment. So this is both developed to measure both physical and biochemical parameters. So we've got physical sensors. Here's that. This also goes along with our graphene we like so much. They've got it for biofluids, your sweat, blood, that kind of stuff. They've got it for drugs. They can actually have your clothes release your medications, believe it or not. And we've got gas. Okay. In here, I think it was telling you all the different, yeah, right. So there's a highly stretchable and wearable microfiber liquid metal based sensor. We got a dual core capactive microfiber sensor, machine knitted smart glove for pressure sensing. And then for moisture, we got yarn type humidity sensor and a smart Janus textile moisture thermal garment temperature sensing, silk composite e-textile temperature sensing. We've got light sensing with quantum dots as a wearable UV photo detector. Get out of the sun. Biofluid sensing for biosensing, a platform for chloride ion and pH sensing. Now, that tells me that this is kind of like a lie detector test, but you're wearing it. Are you sweating? Why are you sweating? They even made that into a Seinfeld episode where George was eating spicy food and he kept sweating. And at the same time, somebody was stealing equipment from work. And because he kept sweating, they thought he was guilty. That would be biofluid sensing. Look at that. For real-time and multiplex sweat analysis, drug sensing. It has a glove-based sensor for fentanyl detection, chemical sensing, enzymes from skin cancer biomarker sensor, and gas sensing. Colorimetric gas sensing threads. I don't know what any of that means, but doesn't sound good. For example, a wearable silk fabric based on carbonizing the pristine silk fiber was reported for stretchable strain sensing. The sensor showed a maximum strain of 520%, which withstood. So they're given tests to see. Look at all that. Graphene-based e-textile via bubble exfoliation method, dip coating. Let's see, can censor things using layers. We got biochemical sensors. Can everybody see this? Is it big enough? I'll come over in the chat in just a second. The sweat sensor patch was further integrated with signal collection and transmission components, making it possible to conduct real-time monitoring of biomarkers in sweat. What are you hiding? But we all know that the human body will instantly start sweating if it's in a fight, flight, or freeze reaction or state, whether it's real or perceived to be real. That doesn't necessarily mean. I think that's interesting too, because a lot of stuff right now is our micro. Everybody is a sleuth. Look, I saw a micro expression. They're lying. Everybody's learning these things. That's very interesting. So you can see this is We got 3 different types of dyes that were tested, so they can get it right. Is it MOS2 plus carbon plus silk plus graphene plus polymer plus Cu particles? Maybe it's cotton and PI tape. Maybe it's yarn, pan yarn. That word's going to show up again. Pen ink, nylon, cotton in the inks. I mean, all these conductive cotton, copper wire and yarn, silk, more polymer, polyester, more graphene. These are all the different fibers that they're using. Energy for e-textile systems, textile-based energy harvesters as the power source for an energy-independent autonomous system. The performance of energy harvesters determines the admissible functionality of the system. To fully utilize the diverse sources of energy, energy harvests based on different energy generation mechanisms have been developed. Harvesting solar or thermal energy from the surrounding environments, right? Or the bioenergy associated from human activities and You're digesting food and they're grabbing your energy. My metabolism is me digesting food and they're going to get some energy. A Wang wants my energy. In general, we can classify the energy harvester commonly seen in e-textile systems into 2 groups. One that harvests environmental energies, namely solar cells that harvest via photovoltaic effect, whatever that is, and thermoelectric generators. So they're on the outside. And the ones that harvest from the human body itself, namely the PENG, P-E-N-G, piezoelectric nanogenerators, and the triboelectric generators, the TANG, that harvest biomechanical energy from the movements of human body and biofuel cells that generate electricity using microbial or enzymatic redox reactions. Wow. Fueled by metabolites in human biofluids. So there you go. And they have been proposed based on motion-powered electromagnetic generators, breathing-powered pyroelectric generators, or antenna-based electromagnetic radiation harvesters. And then they're talking about the materials that they're using for that. Bi-scroll yarn, melt spun. Is it dye pressed? Is it woven, cut into strips, vapor, printed? Interesting. So there's that. Have some inside the fabric are tiny solar cells. They're graphene solar cells in the fabric. I don't know what I'm looking. Nano. Anyway, you can see that doesn't sound good. So I'll come over to chat. Textile stays. Oh, look at there. Super capacitors. Let's see who's in. So we know Ulick was first. Masshole, you're here. Number 2. Second place, William gets a bronze medal. He's 3rd place. Kieran, you're number 4. Jerry's number 5. Duty DeVilles. So rude. You were so rude. Okay. Spoke with Norman. We'll have him. Okay, excellent. We will be waiting. And good. And they are made by 3M. They be quite harmless and safe, eh? I know. Okay, so next tab, I think we get the idea of what it is. Let's go to the next tab. These are all recent. So as you can see the dates on these, I'm going to get to some that are pre this. So you can see they've been at this since the 80s and 90s. It gets more exciting. We're actually going in reverse. I should have gone the other way, but we're doing this. This is by Tech Explore. Tech Explore, so a periodical for techie people. It's in their home section. No, I'm just kidding. The electronics and semiconductors. This is from 2021. Innovative fabric enables digital communication between wearers and nearby devices. This is from California, University of California. Here's these douchebags. Everybody look, where they're showing me like a piece of tape that looks like something that would have come, stuck to a garment I bought at a fancy store. Like, don't steal this. But that's what they show you. The reality is way smaller and scarier. Imagine your car starting the moment you get in because it recognizes the jacket you're wearing. Now, see, that doesn't, right out the gate, I hate when they do this because most everybody goes, that's such a great idea. And I go, are you not hearing what I'm hearing? My friend can borrow my jacket and steal my car. They can beat me up on the street, steal my jacket, and steal my car at the same time. It's going to have to go a little bit further than that. This is not about turning on your car. That's the fairy tale bullshit they tell me. But the truth is much scarier. Because I would go, well, that's not a good idea. I don't want my car only starting if I'm wearing a jacket. That jacket, what if it doesn't go with my outfit? Or what if Steve borrows it? Or what if they beat me in the street and steal it? Consider the value of a hospital gown. What the fuck? That continuously measures and transmits a patient's vital signs. No need to hook you up to a wire. You've just become wireless. The Pinocchio strings have been removed. These are just two applications made possible by a new, quote, body area network. So again, like Charlie's saying, know the language. I was just listening to this guy and I think I shared, here's how you know these people are ridiculous. And he was breaking apart this guy who's supposedly some guru, and I shared that video. But as I was listening and investigating this so-called super soldier, he and another guy were going back and forth, and they used terms, military terms. They used terms. And I go, well, what the fuck is that? And I go and look it up, and it doesn't exist in the science community. The term he used exists in wiki fans community. Sci-fi. He's not speaking the language. He's speaking the language of people who have read too many science fiction books. Charlie says that. Know the language. What do they call them? They call them body area networks. Enabling fabric inventors by engineers in California of Irene. So there you go. If you've ever held, if you've held your smartphone or charge card close to a reader to pay for purchase, you have taken advantage of near field signaling technologies. Our fabrics work on the same principle, but we've extended the range significantly. Thank you, Peter. This means you could potentially keep your phone in your pocket, and just by brushing your body against other textiles or readers, power and information can be that sounds scary as fuck. Whose idea is this? They keep telling me not to just give away, and now you're telling me that there's just something if I just happen to walk past somebody who's wearing the same super suit I am, I'm going to transfer onto them my germs. That's insane. They can't possibly use that. Let's just, with our fabrics, piss me off again. Look at that. And play a game called Duck Tape. Wow. With our fabrics, electronics establish signaling as soon as you hover your clothes over a wireless reader. When I first learned about this, long before this article was written, it was in response to some future ideas for like 5G. It was long before I was on. So, in 10 years. And one of the things that they were saying was that, you know, these towers could essentially, this is smart city stuff, futuristic ideas. I'd be wearing my jumpsuit, and I live in a smart city, and so I'm not using a car. This is Greenie Movement ideas. I'm wearing my power suit to be pun intended, as I'm walking to work, because I'm within walking distance of my office, as I'm bicycling, because I'm walking to the store and I'm bicycling to the shop. The energy is then harvested up into these, 5G network towers, these palm trees in Santa Barbara. And it's my walking to work is actually the energy that it takes to fund the smart city. So the smart city would run on the like a biodome concept. This is not a science fiction book. I'm telling you what business people and smart fabrics were designing 10 years ago, at least, when I was first interested. And they were telling me that, so I had this vision in my mind of this future where like a rich person, like a castle, lived up through a little, in the movies, they're always showing me these like Jetsons houses that are up on a stick, like it's a candy, and they live in this, flying saucer looking house above it. And you're down there, the peons at the bottom, going to work and living in your smart little apartments, but they're like way up there in the sky, and you're paying for their electricity in their high rise. And so basically now they're in charge of you. They're put over the kingdom of, because if you're not, able, if you're all disabled, like a Sims game, my Sims are not feeling well, and therefore they're not heating my house up here. And then, a robot comes out and cleans up, like it's a Sim. You could no longer need to manually unlock your car with a key or separate wireless device, and your body would become a badge to open facility gates, just like that. Give me your jacket. I got to go in. Separate pieces of clothing can be paired to talk to one another. Remember all those toys that were pairing up when you put one toy in the same space as another? These are called the near field communications. The NFC has been its limited range of only a couple of inches, but that's about to change. The research extended the signal reach up to 4 fucking feet using passive magnetic metamaterials based on etched foils of copper and aluminum. Aren't those Faraday cages made of copper? Is that not right? I don't know. I'm asking. What the hell name is this? I wouldn't even begin to notice how to pronounce that. Anyway, they're simple to make and can be integrated with interesting wearable designs. He wants you to know. Anyway, that's scary. Okay, I'll go to my next tab. Blow us away with logic. Not very smart, are we? No, it's like a smartphone. It's 1% phone. It's not very smart. My vibranium jumpsuit. Is it come in pink, Jerry? I need to have a pink one with my name and rhinestones, like Laverne from Laverne and Shirley. Can I get it in lots of colors with a J and rhinestones on my cross my heart? Like Billie Jean vid, but more advanced. Hello again, charming. Health and safety. Okay. This is from AATCC. I have no idea what that is. It just says aatc.org, and this is the news. Again, news. So I'm not exactly sure what AATT or TCC is. But that's this website. Maybe we'll go look to find out what it is. But here we go. This is October 26th of 2021. Remember, we were very occupied with our masks and cameras everywhere, biometricing us as we're going places with masks on. It doesn't need our face. This was a testing of the systems for gait and body movements and everything else. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. You will never be told that, but that is what they were doing. I think Joe Cool put it the best, is I was never allowed to go into a bank with a mask before as a black man, and suddenly I'm encouraged to do so. That was an interesting thing he said, because my brain thinks, well, that's a good point. Why do they want you going into the bank with a mask? Which 3 minutes ago, if I had done, I'd been arrested, unless I was also carrying an oxygen tank. That's very strange, but smart fabrics aim to enhance the, quote, intelligence of clothes, elevating them from mere protective coverings to extensions of the human body. Having first originated in military and aerospace research, who owns that? Smart fabrics have steadily found use in various sectors, including healthcare, sports, and fashion, with fashion giants including Nike, Ralph Lauren, Under Armour, and Levi Strauss taking interest in smart textiles. The sector is expected to reach value of US $9 billion by 2025. That's just around the corner. You heard it here first, folks. Excuse me, hang on. Okay. So it's got some, right, they don't need to. I don't even think that, honestly, I don't think they're going to even need you to get in the clothes before too long. I think that's what and you know what? I'd like to point this out. I'm going to have a Nostradamus moment here. Because when they're telling me something, they're telling me currently that smart fabrics is the new frontier. They even call it an epoch making technology, right? That means that's not what we're doing. That while we're looking at this, while they're showing us, look at this new frontier, this frontier has already been crossed. And what's really happening is the nanoparticles, the spraying, the lotions, the mosquitoes, the chemicals, the GMO'd food, these things that are the RNAs, they're reprogramming us in tiny, subtle ways, even traumatic medicines, all of it. The smart fabrics is just what they're showing you. But in reality, it's so much past that. It's invisible clothing now. It's in the air. I think that's what I think Charlie is really bringing home to me, is that it is already in the air. It's already here. It's around me right now. Somebody could fly over, or maybe from their office in another state or another country, click a button and I hear a voice, based off of my location. It's this idea. Sounds very sci-fi, but there's people telling me that I live in a matrix, and people telling me that giant white Aryan aliens are coming back and Jesus is coming back. So I think this makes a whole lot more sense than any of that. I think that's why it gets looped in those crazy ideas. So it says smart fabrics versus electronic fabrics. Is there a difference? Although the terms smart and electronic fabrics are often used interchangeably, they refer to distinct types of material. So electronic fabrics are equipped with circuits and sensors that enable them to detect or transmit data. In contrast, smart fabrics are materials capable of detecting and responding to external stimuli with or without the electrodes. Smart fabrics can be constructed with electronic sensors and conductive or non-conductive fibers, allowing them to react to environmental and physiological changes. Indeed, non-electronic smart fabrics are more popular since they offer the added advantage of enhanced washability, wearability, and increased lifetime. And you don't even know, you could be wearing them now. If Nike's involved and Under Armour are involved, those are that's sports kind of stuff. And it's not just sports stars that wear those. That's everybody. Everybody wears those, right? So I might go down to the secondhand store and buy something, or that's probably a bad example, but say, what are those shops? Ours are called TJ Maxx. So it's like a store that buys extras from the department store after season, and then they sell them at a cheaper brand. So you're getting department stores. So I can go in there and buy a Nike shirt that would be $50 in a department store, but I can get it for $25. It's brand new. The other thing this reminds me of is that in the land of fast fashion, companies donate their clothing to other countries. So if you were to go and look up, say, a very poor country, well, I'm just going to use Nicaragua because I happen to know this is the case for Nicaragua, or it was at one point. So a company like Nike or Levi or Ralph Lauren or, any of these, they make extra, or they have offs, shirts that were off center or something like that. They're not perfect. And they can either throw them in the trash and claim a write-off, or they can donate them to a poor area. So typically a country that Doctors Without Borders are involved in, and probably the Gates Foundation and the Clintons. Business is involved in. And these people are wearing better clothes than the average ghetto, right? Well, not anymore, because the ghettos are now totally, but you get the reference I'm trying to say there. So forget the semantics. Now that means that I can be giving them, and they can be wearing my smart fabrics, and I have no idea. They're just getting free shirts. And so they're wearing them and nobody knows, and the business isn't going to tell. But meanwhile, because it's just a shirt and it's not identified with a person, they can run tests on this fabric without anyone fucking knowing. And you'd go, they won't do that. They don't do that. And I'm telling you that I would do that. If I was the devil, I would do that. If I owned a business and I was creating a smart fabric, I would donate my smart fabrics to poor areas that wouldn't know any better, so that I could gather their just information, not because I want to hurt them or nefarious, but I need free information, and they want shirts. I mean, it's a free shirt. People go and download a free app and worse is done to them. You see what I'm saying? Why are smart fabrics being built to mimic life? Earth's incredibly complex life forms have evolved over millions of years to perform specific functions. Biomimicking. The mimic textiles aim to reproduce the functionality and smartness of these biological tissues using synthetic fibers and biomaterials. And the concept is not new to the textile industry. In 1955, the Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral was inspired to invent Velcro when he went on a hunting trip and observed burrs stuck to his clothes. Excellent. Aided by advancements, we're contributing, we're giving Swiss engineer George The credit for smart fabrics because he saw a burr on his clothes. See, he's a god now. Look at that. Fabrics that mimic human bones. Get the fuck. Human bones are much stronger than notoriously strong materials like concrete and steel. This is the result of some periostem, a network of tissues that encompass the human skeleton and give the bones strength and growth. So you know what this reminds me of? This picture. I wonder, can I just zoom in on the picture? Right. This looks at that. It looks like caverns or caves or labyrinths, doesn't it? And that's the microstructure of the bone. The tissue contains a pattern of structured proteins, collagen and elastin. Both of those are in the connective tissue department of your body, and the connective tissue department is directly linked to your autonomic system and all of your organs. That they are mechanoactive, and they have the ability to respond to mechanical stimuli. So they naturally exhibit smart properties, becoming stiff and conferring turbo strengths under impact loads. They promote wound healing. So we can do that. How do we do that? Fabrics with a brain. In the past decades, it's revolutionized the healthcare sector, giving rise to a slew of wearables with embedded sensors, and these sensors have found their way into smart apparel, applying fabrics to mimic the human body and respond to external stimuli. The goal is to use computer systems to augment the human body, says somebody, a Dutch fashion designer and technologist. The sensors, which are sewn in using conductive wires or 3D printing onto the textiles, act as the brain of the garment. For example, I created a synapsis dress with sensors that mimic the human nervous system. They can trace the wearer's stress levels by measuring EEG, respiratory rate, and cardiovascular components. A dress, a synapsis dress. And then we've got touch-sensitive fabrics. They mimic the touch sensitivity of the human skin, engineered using vibration-censored fibers that artificial skin tactile sensors. These piezoelectric fabrics can convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. And when the external object encounters the garment, the fibers vibrate, allowing the sensors to detect the characteristics of the object. So if you were blind and your dress rubbed up against a table, it will tell you. That sounds like the jumping cactus, where you just have to get close enough and it reacts. Overcoming the comfort barrier. They're going to make it comfortable. The key challenge to make electronics comfortable, at least for now, electronics remain bulky and non-washable. They're telling me, but in another article, they're going to tell me that they've already created them that can be washed. The sharp metal wires can also threaten energy or threaten injury. And so they're going to tell me that this is where they're at right now in 2022, but the reality is much different than that, 2021. Okay. So we'll go to the next one. Hello, Spanish chicken. Let me see. Where was I before? Shit will glow green if you're envious, and so on, blue if you're down. Of course it will. It's the new meaning of the heart on your sleeve. Oh, those are good comments. Yeah, great. They'll put in a Kardashian condom, a red rocket. Oh, you got it, with a timer. Mercury preservative in the Lucy juice, and all off the previous shots stay in our bodies. So they're turning us already into conductive. They are cumulative, right? I mostly wear ex-army combats. I'm in my shed, showing now, sweating me nuts off. That will fry any boxer smart boxer shorts. Spanish chicken, my grandfather used to go out and build ships, tiny ships, like ships in a bottle kind of ships. And he did so in his Speedos. And he was sweating his balls off out there. Do you remember the clothing label certain shops are forced to remove as they were trackers, right? Looks like nanographene. Yep, Jerry, they were caught putting on children's clothes. It was a mother I came across who was complaining about her daughter's training bras. Interesting, right? Let's be fair. And some pillows. Irish legs are not meant to be seen. Spanish chicken. I like Irish legs. We ain't got the weather for that. Yeah, that was my grandfather, my Irish grandfather, that would wear his Speedos and work on his ships in a bottle out in Florida. Should we buy stocks in these fashion companies or just buy their clothes? Stocks, probably charming, but not, definitely in that department, not just in the company itself, but go ahead and narrow down your investments into the smart fashion. Very good. Shut up and eat your porridge. My missus said the other day, does my bum look big in this? Said your bum looks big in everything. Very good. Okay, so here I've got from Rice University, the Office of Public Affairs, News and Media Relations. And I just want to note that their little emblem looks like, I don't know if you can see this, Rice University. It looks like an owl or two owls there with the two bars. I'd have to look at their actual, it's kind of hard. It's like double vision, but it's there. So let's look here. It says Smart Fabrics. This is from 2023, August 29th. Current news. Smart Fabrics Informed Touch can tell where to go. The Informed Touch can tell you where to go. What does that mean? Where to go? Wearable textile-based device delivers complex on-the-go input. Tell me where to go. Personal devices feed our sight and hearing virtually unlimited streams of information while leaving our sense of touch mostly untouched. A wearable textile-based device developed by Rice University engineers could help declutter, enhance, and in the case of impairments, compensate for deficiencies in visual and auditory inputs by tapping this unused sensory resource. Holy shit. Technology has been slow to co-opt haptics or communication based on the sense of touch. A mechanical engineer PhD student who is the lead author on a study published in Device of the technologies that have incorporated haptics. Wearable devices often still require bulky external hardware to provide complex cues, limiting their use in day-to-day activities. But thanks to these built by Rice Labs, they reduce the need for hardware by programming haptic cues into textile structures of the wearable using fluidic control, building on the approach described in prior work. With the traditional control system using voltage and current, you typically need many electric inputs to achieve complex haptic cues, says Preston. But in this device, we've offloaded a lot of that complexity to the fluidic controller and require only a very limited number of electronic input to provide sophisticated haptic stimulation. Comprised of a belt and textile sleeves. So that's it, just a sleeve. The wearables rely on fluidic signals such as pressures and flow rates, to control the delivery of complex haptic cues, including sensations like vibration, tapping, and squeezing. A small, lightweight carbon dioxide tank affixed to the belt feeds airtight circuits incorporated in the heat-sealed textiles, causing quarter-sized pouch. That's what they're telling me, that it still looks like this. This is what I'm going to be wearing. But these will get smaller, just like we've realized with our phones. We started out with these enormous computers and enormous phones, and it gets small. It's already smaller. They're going to just sell you this now so you won't know. So anyway, it's, it will help you if you're suffering from hearing loss, says O'Malley. The cochlear implants. There you go. Maybe you've lost a limb and you have an artificial arm. It can also bring back sensation to your artificial arm. Instead of a smartwatch with simple vibration clues, we can now envision a smart shirt that gives the sensation of a stroking hand or a soft tap on the torso or arm. For movies, games, and other forms of entertainment could now incorporate the sense of touch in their virtual reality. Well, give it to me then. I want it now. It can be more comfortable for longer periods of time. Do you want fellows and the Gates Millennium? What's the Gates Millennium Scholarship Program? This research was supported by the National Science Foundation, douchebag, the Rice University Academy of Fellows, douchebag, and of course the Gates Millennium Scholars Program. We got peer-reviewed papers. Holy shitballs. Okay, that sounds scary. All right, let's keep going. I've got a few tabs here. These fuckers are proper weirdos. What happened to just living? Exactly. Okay. Oh, I can sign up with my company to receive my company, my job title. What am I interested? Which newsletter do I want? Space, daily, space war, Terra, energy, solar, Mars, nuclear, oil, gas, windy, seed, biofuel, GPS, disaster management, medical news, or the Japan press? I don't want any of those things. So let's see what you've got here. This is from Space Daily periodical. Chip Tech, the new fiber. I just want you to know, it says the top of the bar, just because you can't make this shit up, okay? SpaceDaily.com reports revolutionizing wearables. New fiber uses human body and circuit for chipless smart textiles 999 HTML. You gotta fucking be kidding me. The new fiber uses human body and circuit for chipless smart textiles. Now look at this one. It looks much different from the one we just looked at. This one's like a little sleeve, you see. Here's his shoes on the table. Why are his shoes on the table? That's peculiar. That means that's a product that they're testing there. Nobody takes off their shoes and puts them on the table on a white. This is from Australia, 2024. This just happened. They've developed a flexible electronic fiber that incorporates the human body into its circuit, making a significant advance in the creation of textiles embedded with electronic capabilities without relying on chips or batteries. This innovation, heralded by Donegal University team, however you pronounce that, opens in new avenues for producing wearable technologies that are both scalable and comfortable, extending their potential uses from health monitoring to interactive smart home devices. My home does not need to be any smarter. Is it going to turn, if somebody breaks in my house, is it going to all of a sudden my arms just start doing like ninja? Is my body going to react like a fucking ninja? Like I've been pre-programmed somewhere? You know, like Alice in Resident Evil, just cheek cheek, and somehow you're like able to, you know, shoot, you know, like they always show in the spy movies. I have amnesia, but you know, these people break in my house and suddenly, you know, I'm knowing when to jump and where to shoot something, and I have no idea how I picked up these super spy gifts. If it's not going to do that, but this fiber, described as an interactive fiber or an eye fiber, is notable for its ability to harvest. There we go. It's notable for its ability to harvest ambient electromagnetic energy for power. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to go over. Just hold on. I want to know what that is. So I'm going to do just a little search here. This is off. I'm going off script here because I didn't read through these. Again, I just pull up because they're literally like the first 5. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds good. Ooh, that one might be good. What the fuck does that one say? That's what happens. So then I'm reading them and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? All right, so let's make sure we understand what ambient electromagnetic energy is, because I hear Charlie using these terms and I want to know if this is the same thing. I don't know. That's why I'm looking, because I don't want to say wrong. Yes, I believe it is. So if this is what Charlie's talking about, the ambient electromagnetic energy is a type of untapped energy source that can be found in the environment. It can be harvested and converted into electric energy through a process called ambient energy harvesting. This energy can be used to power small wireless devices like those in wearable electronics, condition monitoring, and wireless sensor networks. Device captures ambient electromagnetic energy to drive something, their television. Energy harvesting. It turns high frequency. MIT's involved, of course, the National Institutes of Health, SPY, the International Society for Optics and Photonics, sorry, it's called SPY. I mean, the National Science Foundation, the Earth and I wants the untapped power of the future. Oh, that sounds like an interesting article. Let's go there. Oh my God. Let's see. We are going to better drugs to get out of this fucking shit. We're going to need better drugs for this. For sure, man. The world's gone mental. Do people get paid to write this shit? Yes. Yes. Imagine now with a Bluetooth, your neighbor's knickers are able to monitor your mental health. Now, see, I know that this is one of these comments that is so fucking profound. Like that, I know you're making fun of, but at the same time, yes, like that is, I brushed up against them earlier today, and my information was transferred to their information. Maybe I have my body camera off. That's okay. Your neighbor Steve got it. I mean, that sounds crazy, but that's better than that's way better than any of the other crap that they're selling me. Not to mention, I can prove this one. I can't prove that there's Arcturian aliens from, the Pleiades, but I can prove this one. I can see the fabric for myself. I have seen the fabric for myself. I can go to a convention and look at it. I can listen to people or talk to people or meet people that are wearing the fabrics. The ambient temperature. BB. Hello, BB. Joni's on. Ambient would be local environment or the constant. So Jerry, when we listen to, I know I keep using Charlie, but that's because this is where I'm at the moment. And he's my best resource for trying to understand this in layman's terms. Is that what he's referring to when he's talking about the ambient noise and what the frequencies he's picking up when he does these recordings? Charming, maybe you've listened. I know you're not a fan of his, but is that what he's describing when he's talking about ambient noise? Can I interchange that with ambient energy? Even if I don't agree with what he's saying, forget all that. Would those two things be interchangeable? I wish I could have a conversation with him. Just sit down and chill, a couple hours around a bonfire, where I could really just kind of get in there and find out, because the things that I'm learning, the things that interest me seem directly linked to the things that he's discussing. I know it is. Okay. All right. So let me go back to my tabs now. Okay. This one is from Space Daily. Okay. So we did that one. That one is from, okay, this is the next one. This one is from the NCBI or the NIH, the government, National Library of Medicine. And this one is the electromagnetic, this is from 2012, the electromagnetic biofield, clinical experiments and the references. Oh, I'm sorry, and interferences. The introduction says, one of the most important factors in this technical and scientifically rapid development is continually modifying the world we live in and polluting it with electromagnetic radiations. A functional and structural influence of magnetic and electromagnetic field on living organisms is presented in the literature by many performed experiments. So they have done some experiments, and the results are the living organisms cannot contain electrostatic and magnetostatic fields due to intense activity of the biostructures. The biochemical reactions that have high rhythms and speeds also impose the electrodynamics character of the biologic field that also corresponds to the stability of the protein molecule that can be explained only through a dynamic way. And the existent energy is not considered an exciting agent and does not lead to any effects. Conclusions, the parameters of these elementary biofields cannot yet be fully known due to technical reasons. The biological structures are very complex ones and undergo continuous dynamic activity. That is why the calculus model should be related to constant dynamics, nowadays being very difficult to express. The study of the influence exercised on the man-made electromagnetic fields begin to concern scientists and especially the biologists worldwide, mainly in the last 2 decades. We're polluting the electromagnetic radiations. Maybe this is for chromosomal abnormalities and cardiac malformations. Well, I know what this one's talking about. From the Maxwell's electromagnetic field. Okay, let me keep going over here. So this one was the same thing. Maxwell Faraday laws. I'll probably get struck for sharing that one. Oh no, she can talk about smart fabrics, but don't talk about that. That makes you a tinfoil hat wearer. Okay, so for this one, I changed the date. Look, I have 1940 to 2000. Same search. Human body communication systems and smart fabrics. And here you go, 1995, Zimmerman, personal area networks, or PAN, a near field intrabody. And then here, I'm just going to scroll through. University of Mass at Amherst, ResearchGate, PNAS, Sage Journals, more periodicals, Georgia Institute of Technology, Sage. Again, we got B.R. Harn College, This is 1991. So let's see what some of these articles are. That's from 2000. Okay. I'm going over. Bonfire chats are the best. I agree. Good song then. Here's a song for you. I'm probably going to come over under another alias. Okay, so this comes to us from Science Direct. And this article is from 2014. It says knitted electronic textiles. You might find these chapters. Okay, so 9 conclusions. This is from 2014, so we're going back in time. Electronic textiles are a key enabling factor in the creation of SFIT-based system, SFIT, which are conceived as the integration of textile and non-textile sensors, computing capabilities, and the interactive communication network. SFIT systems rely on advances in such fields as material processing, that's fibers and polymers, which we learned about earlier, microelectronics, signal processing, nanotechnologies, and telecommunications. Textile is the common platform where smart fibers are integrated, where the properties of the material are augmented through the combination of chemical processes, and where the structure of the fabric allows for the use of redundant sensor configurations. And they're going to outline the applications based on these textile platforms in which the fabric is enriched with new functionalities while maintaining the mechanical properties that make the material comfortable, conformable. It's got your curves in mind. It's tummy tucking and pleasant to the touch. You feel naked in it. The full potential... That's the bodysuit, right? The cat suit. The full potential of e-textile technologies has not yet fully been explored. And in the future, novel, flexible structures will be developed that will be sensitive to new electrical. We're reading about them now. Do you see? So since 2014, there you go. And then they've got others. All right, let me keep going. So that's 2014. I got another one. I think this one's even further back. This one's a PDF. Right. Let's just look at these emblems. Smart fabrics. This was something technological university. So I don't know what that is. In Belgium, 10. SDM College of Engineering and Technology, D. Harwad. Department of Computer Sciences and Engineering. This is a seminar by Shahidi, I don't know, Shitty. And here we go. So what does it say? Here's your certificate. It's certified that this seminar work entitles Smart Fabrics is a bona fide work carried out by this person, and here is their number, in a partial fulfillment for the reward of BE in Computer Science and Engineering of the something Technology University, Belgium, during the year 2010. It is certified that all corrections and suggestions indicated for internal assessment have been incorporated in the report deposited in the department library. The seminar report has been approved as it satisfies the act. So this is like someone's thesis in respect to for their Bachelor of Engineering degree. So this is a thesis. We'll just go to, where do we want to go? Do I want to go to the conclusion or the abstract? Here's the abstract. What are they going to do? Humans are close to textiles more than anything, and certainly we carry it most other than anything. The last few decades have shown enormous growth in the development of wireless communication technologies, nanoengineering, information technologies, and minimization of electronic devices. These developments, miniaturization, these developments draw the attention of researchers to envisage. What is that? To envisage the significant characteristics of these advancements to the belongings with whom we are most close to. They're now revaluing new ideas and possibilities to functionalize this natural necessity feature of human beings. They're using a natural behavior I have against me as a weapon against me. I say that so much. They're using my natural, normal, human. That's what magicians do. With emerging technologies into different array of human life, especially in the medical and healthcare management, make them think save them. As mobile monitoring of healthcare, protected from life risk factors. Now that makes me think of insurance. So now is the insurance company going to know my heart rate? Is this going to determine whether or not I'm allowed? How much is my life insurance going to be? You know, right now they ask you, are you a smoker? And if you are, you pay more. What's the next phase there? You know, I remember we're only one step away from the insurance companies. They were having us put snapshots in our cars, little devices in our air vents, or, you know, in our engines somewhere under your floorboards that monitored your driving. And if you were a very safe driver for a 3 or 6 month period, your rate would go down. And if you had an accident, it'd go back up and you'd have to work it back off by being a good driver. This is the next step. I'm wearing my smart fabrics and I'm rewarded because I'm eating healthy or I'm remembering to exercise. You know, and so my insurance company, they already, you know, what my job is, they already statistic everything. Do you have a dog? Do you have kids? It's not just about how old you are, how far do you drive to work? They statistic everything. And so now they're going to be statisticking. So work is going to ask me to do that. Wear this little monitoring. We just want you to wear this. Come in for a well check, they'll call it. A flu shot, an annual flu shot, they'll call it. That's not what it is. Anyway, that's very scary. That's what I hear there. So there's that. Okay. Let me go to the next PDF. Here's another thesis. So this is another thesis. This one is from 1980. So this one is nice. And it's by that Zimmerman guy that we were reading about earlier. So this is a cited guy. This is our personal area network, or PAN. You know, like they keep telling me Pan, the Pan God and that kind of stuff, these symbols and things. Interesting. That's right. They're going to be tracking you in your underwear, for fuck's sakes. So a PAN, a near field intra-body communication by Thomas Guthrie Zimmerman. He has a BS in humanities and engineering. Did you even know that that humanities and engineering were in the same, as you can get a degree, a Bachelor of Science in humanities and engineering? These two things are like opposite sides of the spectrum. Do you have humanity or are you an engineer? What are we talking about here? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, February of 1980. This is submitted to the program in Media, Arts and Sciences, School of Architecture and Planning. That's your compass and square. That's what architecture is. In partial fulfillment of the requirements for the degree of a Master's of Science in Media, Arts and Sciences at the Massachusetts, September 1995. There would be the people that accepted it. And so let's see what he has to say. His abstract. PAN is a wireless communication system that allows electronic devices on and near the human body to exchange digital information through near field electrostatic coupling. That is what Charlie was talking about, coupling, where the guy got real close to him and and they're synced. How weird was that? Information is transmitted by modulating electric fields and electrostatically I'm not sure how to say that, coupling picoamp currents into the body. Coupling picoamp currents. What is that? What is that? I'm going to have to look that up. The body conducts the tiny current to the body mounted receivers, and the environment, the room ground, provides a return path for the transmitted signals. Again, this was 1995. It's at a low cost, $20, half duplex modem is implemented. So it was cheap back then. The technology used in the PAN can be integrated into a custom CMOS chip for the lowest size and cost. And this work is supported in part by, look, Hewlett-Packard Corporation. Hewlett-Packard, don't they make printers? And Fesco Corporation. Wow. Thesis readers who read it, here they are. These are the people who read it. Professor at. I'm indebted to my advisor. Without him, I could not have discovered and written this paper to work into. And a lot of times these theses, this is what they want to go into. You know, these are their hobbies. They usually want to write a thesis about furthering what they already are interested in. So here's the context. We've got previous work on electric field sensing. So before 1995, there was a lot of previous work, current trends, motivation for personal area networks for PAN, interconnectivity reduces redundancy, ambiguous computers versus distributed, connecting to the outside world, the comparison of electrostatic infrared transmissions, the RF transmission, antenna size, interference, FCC field strength, eavesdropping, and power. Wow. Oh, I want to find that. Okay, hang on. Eavesdropping. I want to go read that one. Let me read that chapter. Paste and go. Let's see. Eavesdropping. Ways to measure. Yeah, because I have to take that to. Okay, no, we'll go. Okay. Stack exchange. Where's your. What is it? Oh, no. Opt couple. Okay. Oh, okay. What is this? Picoampere, dark current, an electro-opto coupled. This is from Wiley Online. Sub to super linear response from Mott transmission enabled infrared. Okay, this is from 2023, and this paper that we were reading was 1995 term, at least that long. So let's look at eavesdropping, shall we? See what you guys are saying while I'm waiting. MIT is everywhere. They are part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Oh. Eavesdropping. Okay. So that's in the abstract. And there it is there. So let's go to the next part. Okay. So a radio transmitter propagates energy. This is the nature of broadcasting. The signal strength from the isotropic Omnidirectional radiator decreases with distance squared, a result of the radiator illuminating the surface of a sphere. Some of the data communicated among PAN devices will be of sensitive nature. For example, credit card and telephone numbers, client notes, diary entries, business communications, and computer passwords. That sounds like the promise system we were reading. Radio systems can be made secure by cryptographic strategies requiring additional processing overhead, but the best security in a message that is never intercepted. Electrostatic coupling, on the other hand, does not propagate electromagnetic energy. The electric field strength falls off with distance cubed, a result of the dipole charges canceling their field. The greater signal attenuation with electrostatic coupling, the cube versus the square of distance, makes electrostatic coupling signals more difficult to detect at a far distance. For example, the electrostatic coupled signal strength at 300 meters, reference to 1 meter is 50 decibels. I'm assuming that was dB, smaller than comparable radiated signals. Okay. If you want to, you can always pause these and go and look up the titles. I mean, I'm showing you you don't need the link. You can do that. You can go and look these up yourself if there's anything that you want to keep reading. So that sounds interesting. The LAN communication can be used in the PAN. So the same security means are used in LAN. Below 1 degree Kelvin, and then power. Okay, that just sounds scary. All right, so here's one. Here's another. Okay, this is the harvesting. So now, again, we're going back in time. That one's from 1995. This one is, I don't know the date yet, but it was in that same area of older articles, so pre-2000. A bracelet harvesting the leaked RF energy with VLC with wearable bracelet antenna. And again, let's note the last names. And it says a visible light communication, or the VLC, is widely considered a promising technology for the coming 6G networks. Oh, nice. So now I really do want to know what year this was written. Recent studies show that the VLC transmitter not only emits visible light signals, but also leaks RF signals during the transmission. In this work, we devote an effort to harvesting the free leaked RF energy. Now I'm thinking about those people that on their YouTube channels that go outside with a couple wires in the ground and show you that the electricity is in the ground, that it's free, it's there, and you don't need that power line above your house. They're based on their observation. We propose our system Bracelet Plus, which involves the human body in the harvesting system to increase the harvested power. After careful analysis of the influence of the human body on the harvesting power, we prototype the coil antenna. Okay, then this is describing exactly what I was reading a decade ago, where it was talking about you walking by a 6G tower and it's sucking the energy off of you that you have created from walking from your front door on your way to work. You pass through the park, by a tree, the tree is a 5G or 6G tower, and it harvests off everything that you've built up in the meantime, and it stores that for the biodome as a whole. And now it's running everything from, this is the ideas they had. This is smart cities or futuristic biodomes. It's now running the lights that the town uses, the street lights. You are by a rat in a wheel or a guy in a suit on his way to work. And that's what they were talking about. That's the energy. That's so bizarre. Okay. I got a few more tabs and then I'll end this. It should be right at 2 hours. Hello, it's a duck. Salutations, a rotten one. Are you talking to me? Am I the rotten one? Okay, this next article is more about the PAN. It's ResearchGate, Publications, Personal Area Network, PAN, Near Field, Intra-Body Communication. ResearchGate. So here's the thesis. That might be what, nope, Thomas, here it is, Thomas Zimmerman. So here it is, 1995. And look at the company he works for. Does that say IBM? Tommy, shame on you. And now it starts to get connected. Isn't that nuts? Yep. So there we go. IBM comes back again. All right, going to the next tab. We've already discussed that. I'm going to save all these tabs as a file on my computer for smart fabrics. All right. It's been 16 citations, and this article has been referenced 15 times, or at least there's 15 here, and there's 15 cited. So 16 other papers were written citing this paper. That's how that works. So this is from B.R. Harns, etc. So we did see this somewhere. Education, yes, the Encyclopedia of Smart Materials. I found this. This, I don't know if it's going to give me a date, but again, this was in the pre-2000s. And this is the Encyclopedia of Smart Materials. Did you even know that there was such a thing? This is volume 1 and 2 by Schwartz. Okay. And it's very large. But here we go. John Wiley and Sons, Wiley InterScience publication. The Encyclopedia of Smart Materials is available online at interscience.wiley.com. And this is the paper. And let's look at the date on it. 2002. So it's also over 2 years old. It's a dozen now. Here are contributors. You can see Harvard has made its debut. Let's see. We got a bunch of universities there. Universities. These are all universities. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Ohio and Reuters and all kinds of things. Drexel, Ohio again. Unilever, University and Research. The European Aeronautic Defense and Space Company, Military Aircraft Business Unit, Munich, Germany. That's for aircraft control applications of smart structures, intelligent synthesis of smart ceramic materials. Queensland is there. Lund University, Yale shows up. Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. I'm just going through. NASA's here. And iCase is here. Montana University, Georgia University, National Institutes of Advanced Industrial Science in Japan. The University of Tokyo. Well, you get the idea. Okay. Let me go down here to where it starts. Okay. This is an encyclopedia of smart stuff. Civil engineering. The concept of smart or intelligent materials, systems, and structures has been around for many years, and a great deal of progress has been made recently in the development of these structures that continuously and actively monitor and optimize themselves and their performance through emulating biological systems with their adaptive capability and integrated designs. The field of smart materials is multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary, and there are a number of enabling technologies, materials, control, information processing, sensing, actuation, and damping, and system integration around a lot of industrial applications. So there you go. So this is an encyclopedia that gives you all of them up into that date. I'll just skip around for a second. Here you go. Coatings, gels. So that might be interested if you're interested in looking into further specific things. This is like a, a pharmaceutical manual, or a doctor manual. It's going to give you, the basics. Look at all these things: cure monitoring, health monitoring, bibliography, drug delivery systems, high performance conductive adhesives, basic relationships and phenomena. This is electroceramics, smart chemicals, optic materials. There you go. Theoretical treatment, the yield stress equation, all these different things, fiber optics, so many different things. What did that say? Fluid machines, FEDMs, gels, giant megastructive materials, health monitoring using wave dynamics. I've been reading into some of that as well. That's very interesting. They make this sound like this stuff is way over our head. You wouldn't understand it. But if you read it, what's to understand? You're telling me you're going to do this with it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what else you could do with that. I don't need to be a smart person. That doesn't sound good. It defies no contact of some sort, no contact interference. We don't have to touch them. This was another interesting one. This one came to me, Intellect Discover, a journal here, Artifact Journal of Design and Practice. This was from 2022. Between yarns and electrons, a method for designing electromagnetic expression in woven smart textiles. And this one said interesting things. The design of woven smart textiles presents a discrepancy of scale where the designer works at the level of structural textile design, where facets of the material express at scales beyond one's senses. And we were talking about that. Without appropriate methods to address these unknown or hidden material dimensions, certain expressional domains of the textile are closed off from textile design possibilities. The aim of the research has been to narrow the gap that presents when one designs simultaneously at the scale of textile structure and electron flow in yarns. It does this by detailing the method for sensing, visualizing, and discussing expressions of electromagnetism in woven smart textiles. Based on this research, a method of textile surface scanning is proposed to produce a visualization of the textile's electromagnetic field, and then samples observed through this method reveal an unknown textural quality that exists within the electron flow, a electromagnetic texture, like they microscopically found it, which emerges at the intersection of woven design and electromagnetic domain variabilities. So how the fabric itself is woven and designed also adds to, so just that tiny little difference of how it's woven and the design of that weave and what it creates in that electromagnetic domain can be exploited. Interesting. And it does talk about that there. Of course, they want to, they research into smart textiles now spans many disciplines, including material science, various practices of engineering, like electrical, computational, wireless technologies, human-computer interaction, health, military research, social sciences. Why social sciences? Why humanities? And more. What does that mean? You're putting social and humanities in the same, and health in the same sentence as military and human-to-computer interaction, AI. Anyway, it goes on to say other terrible things, as you can imagine. The enchantment even of textiles, it says there. An exhibit entitled The Enchantment of Textiles. The team involved an embroiderer, a fashion designer, a pattern cutter, a technical developer of antenna systems, an antenna engineer, a technical supervisor, an industrial designer, a flexible LED system designer, a circuit designer, 2 programmers, a cultural researcher. Why is a cultural researcher? And an archiver and a research lead. That's the team involved. That's the team. That's who it involves. Holy crap. An electronic textile entitled The Embroidered Computer. Oh my. Hey, Saladin. Welcome. Oh, I thought Saladin was in here. Who is that? Suzanne? I see you. Sorry. Salutations is what I saw. Saladin's not here. No big deal. Hello, Suzanne. Anyway, okay. 3 more tabs and I'll be done. And everyone can go about their merry ways. This is another PubMed Central. This is from 2002. This is the 3D printing technology for smart clothing, a topic review. And they're talking about 3D printing the clothing and how awesome that is. So you can read that there. And of course, we were looking into these tabs and what this stuff was. Ambient energy, the untapped power of the future. Look at that. Wireless communication to prevent irreversible climate change and sustainably power the future. Sustainably power the future. A myriad of possible energy sources are being explored. While renewable energy and electric cars grab many of the headlines about reducing carbon emissions, one of the most promising avenues is harnessing ambient energy from power-consuming devices themselves. It's the ambient noise, the ambient frequency, the ambient energy naturally occurring, and it can be harvested. There's some examples. Solar. How is it captured? Oh, look, we can get it from the sun. We can get it on materials that convert friction and other such things, including smart. It's even showing you train just everywhere, wherever you can get it. It's crazy. Okay. Good for them. And our advanced materials. Near sensor vision processing is not only conceptually important for device operation, but also essential to get rid of massive amounts of data generated during object sensing and classification with noisy inputs. I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound good. So anyway, there's that. Okay. There's my presentation I shared. So there you go. That's our trip down smart fabrics. Fabrics that are smarter than you, textiles smarter than you, an epoch-making technology. It's going to make the epoch. It is the epoch. Fashion. And if you remember in The Meaning of Life also says that as a teenager, expressing myself through my clothing, learning to express my identity through clothing is a very powerful weapon that our our gods can use against us, or the devil, or whatever. So anyway, well, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm going to go now. I hope you found that interesting, and I will see you at a later time. Go do something fun. Bye, everybody.